Hi, my name is Candy Nardini, and I'd like to tell you a story about Mother's Day 1992. As we go back to that date, it was a Sunday afternoon, and we decided that we'd go out for supper at Shakey's Pizza Parlor in Waterloo. So we went. It was my mother and my father, and Jay and Landon and Lindsay, our children. So Landon and Jay decided to play a little game of seeing how close they could get by coming across the table and getting their heads just as close as they could without touching. I turned sideways to tell Landon to stop, and about that time, full force, he came forward with his forehead, and hit the side of my nose. I remember staggering to the bathroom, my nose bleeding, and then totally out of character for me was I found myself sitting on the floor of a public restroom, which I knew I was not feeling well at that time. Got myself together, the nosebleed stopped, although my eyes were starting to darken, and I felt like my nose was probably broken. The rest of the evening I took some pain pills, and the next morning I thought, I still don't feel well. I feel like it could be broken. So I called a girlfriend of mine who worked for an ENT, and I said, is there any chance that I could come over and just see him? And so I went over, and he did see me, and one of his first comments was, wow, it looks like you took a hard blow to the right. Grabbed the side of the nose, and he said it, and he says, it looks like it's pretty good. Took another x-ray and said, yep, I've got it okay, everything's good now. And he said, I'll be back in just a moment. And when he walked back into the room, that is where fear gripped my heart, because I saw he had the little silver tray, and on the tray he had little splints, which I knew he was going to put somewhere on my nose. And he also had a gauze-soaked bandage that was soaked in like a plaster. And so sure enough, he molded it to my nose, and there was plaster all over my face. Then he took half-inch white tape and taped diagonally across my face. So I had this huge X, this white X on my face over the cast. And so I left, and I thought, I can't even put sunglasses on. I've got to drive home. I'm bawling all the way home, had a little meltdown, made it home, and because he's a doctor, I thought, I've got to keep this thing on. It's one of those where you want to hold a sign around your neck that says, yes, it's just broken. So I kept it on. I started taking the tape off. The picture shows that the tape is off, so I did take that off. And Jay's analogy of the whole thing would be, if you didn't stick your nose where it didn't belong, this never would have happened. While you may not be able to tell it from the picture, Mother's Day 1992 is a Mother's Day I will never forget.